to record. All right, let's get started with our warm up here. Let's get started with a nice walk, nice high knees, just walking in place. Getting our heart rate up. And then continue lifting the knees, bringing the arms overhead, reaching up nice and tall. And we're gonna add a nice wide pull down as we continue lifting the knees up, elbows nice and wide. Very nice. And then come back to a standing position, alternating hand toe taps, getting that leg up as high as you can, stretching the back side of the leg, working your hip flexors. Maybe you tap, maybe you just come super close. And this is low impact cardio and strength. So feel free to grab whatever weights you'd like, light, medium, or heavy. And then from a standing position, nice big hip opener over to a side lunge. Chin and chest stays nice and lifted. I know Bill heard this spiel earlier, but I'm at the beach, so I'm just using water bottles. So again, weights of choice, whatever you'd like. You can do everything with just your body weight as well. Let's do one more on each side. Hip opener over to a side lunge. Chin and chest lifted. And then coming down to a nice low wide squat, toes slightly turned out, arms reach out by your side, reach down, tapping towards the opposite inside ankle, maybe reaching for your calf, maybe your knee. Chin and chest stays nice and lifted. Let's do one more on each hand. And then stay nice and low in your squat, arms forward in a windmill motion. Warming up your chest. And then reverse the direction. Warming up your shoulders. And then still in that low squat, slightly hinge forward at the waist. And then open and close the arms. Give yourself a nice big hug. And as you open the arms, squeezing your shoulder blades together. Few more here with your breath. And then gently coming down to a runner's lunge, left leg forward, pressing into your left knee, not letting your left knee past your toes, opening up your right hip, and then pull it back, straightening the left leg, maybe point and flex your left toes. And then just quickly switching sides. Right leg forward, opening up the left hip on this side, not letting your right knee past your toes. And then straighten the right leg, maybe point, flex your right toes. And then coming up, rolling your shoulder blades back. Rolling them forward. Maybe shaking it out, grabbing a sip of water. If at any time you need to grab water, please do so. We're gonna be doing several moves. We have 4 moves in each set. We'll be doing 5 different sets. We'll be on the timer for 35 seconds with a 10-second break in between. And again, you can't wait for that 10-second breather. Grab water at any time, please. I'm grabbing my weights, handy dandy little water bottles. So first that we have is a side shuffle. We're gonna tap the floor up to the ceiling, tap the floor, low side shuffle. Let me start the timer. Timer begins now. So low side shuffle. Tap the floor, up towards the ceiling, tap the floor, stay nice and low, side shuffle. Use a space, whatever you have around you. You can do 5 steps, you can do 3 steps, you can do 1 step on each side. Keeping it going, you have 10 seconds here. Going strong for 3. Last 2. All right. From here, coming to a standing position. Weights are on your floor. Feet are hip width apart and parallel. We're gonna pick up the weights. We're gonna come to a squat and then to a deadlift. Weights on your shoulders to an overhead press. And then keeping it going. Set the weights down, pick the weights up, squat, deadlift, to a squat with an overhead press. So you're doubling your squats here. Slowing it down as much as you need to. Last 3, 2. From here, next move we have the nice low wide squat coming down. Nice soft bend in your knees. We're gonna swing the arms up and then swing them out overhead. So staying nice and low in your squat. Around the world, arms out to the side. And then palms together, bringing the arms up overhead. Keeping it going. Last 10, just like this. Going strong for 3, 2, last 1. Still with your feet hip width apart and parallel. We're gonna come to a double deadlift to a chin raise. Grind your feet into the ground, gliding your weights down your chin, down your shins, and then for a chin pull up. Not to confuse chin and shin. A little tongue twister there, super early this morning. Next stays in neutral spine. Just gliding your weights down the front of your shins, coming up to a chin pull up. Not hitting your chin with your weights. For 5. Last 3. All right, right back to the top, right where we started. Side shuffle to a standing squat to a ceiling reach. Back to a squat, side shuffle. Go as fast or as slow as you would like. Keeping it going. Last 10, just like this. This is round 2 of 3. Going strong for 3. Last 2 and 1. Feet are hip width apart, parallel. Weights by your side. We're gonna pick the weights up, squat, deadlift, squat to a chin lift. Join me when you're ready. Setting the weights down after your little rep. Very nice, keeping it going. Last 3, 2, and 1. From here, coming to our nice low wide squat. Toes can be slightly turned out. We have our arm raised forward around the world arms. Just alternating. Hips stay nice and low in your low squat, maybe sitting lower than last time, challenging yourself. Knees tracking out over your toes, not passing them. You just don't want to have your knees going inward. Moving with your breath, nice and controlled movements. For 3, last 2. All right, bring the feet hip width apart and parallel. We have our deadlift to our chin lift. And 2, 1, join me when you're ready. Just gliding that weight down your shins, neck at neutral spine, soft bend your knees as you hinge at the hips. Imagining that you're sticking your bum towards the wall behind you. Maybe it's an imaginary wall. going to your depth, whatever works for you. Deadlift to a chin lift for 3. Last 2 and 1. Last round. Finishing nice and strong with our first round. We have our side shuffle to our overhead, our squat, ceiling press, overhead, squat, side shuffle. Last round, making it count. Core stays nice and engaged. Last 5, 3, 2, and 1. Setting the weights down, feet are hip width apart parallel. Picking up the weights, squat, overhead press, squat. Join me when you're ready. Continuing to work that lower body as you simultaneously work the upper body, always engaging the core. Moving with your breath. Nice controlled movement for 7. Last 3, finish up wherever you're at. And then coming to our nice low wide squat. Arms together, swing forward and up, arms out by your side, around the world arms. Maybe sitting even lower than before, challenging yourself. Toes are slightly turned out, hips are tucked under, nice flat back. Going strong for 3, last 2, and 1, shake it out. Coming to a deadlift, feet can be hip width apart parallel. You can have a nice wide legs. You can have your feet together. Deadlift of choice this round, last time. Deadlift to a chin lift. Just gliding the weights down the front of your shins to a nice chin lift. Elbows are nice and wide with your chin lift. Nice breather. And 5. Last 3, 2, and 1. Set your weights down. Shake it out. Grab some water. We have our next 4 moves coming up next. You still got 20 seconds, don't worry. All right, grabbing your weights. Going to come into a nice low wide plie squat, toe slightly turned out, nice stable position. And we're just punching from side to side, really twisting at your oblique, working your core, maybe picking it up, slowing it down as much as you need to, moving with your breath. Little twist side to side, opposite arm extends as you twist. Keep it going. Last 3, 2, and 1. Coming to a reverse lunge stance, right leg back, left leg forward, coming to the ball of your right foot. We have alternating split squat to a deadlift. So just lunging it out and then leaning forward and over your front left leg, lunge, single leg deadlift. So weights can be by your side, they can be at your hip, they can be on your shoulders as you come to that reverse lunge. Your feet don't move, feet stay statically pressed into the floor wherever they started, and gliding the weights down the front of your left shin as you come into that single leg deadlift for 3, last 2, setting the weights down, we're gonna come down to our area for slow mountain climbers. This can be done standing, lean diagonally against the wall. It can also be from a tabletop position, slowly drawing your knee up toward your chest, high plank, or a tabletop, or lean diagonally against the wall. As you draw that knee in towards your chest, same elbow, same knee. Think about holding that pause for a second and then releasing. 10 seconds to go. High plank, tabletop, or lean diagonally against the wall. For 3, last 2, and then slowly coming on up, grabbing your weights. We have our reverse lunge. Now with the left leg back, right foot forward, ball of your right foot press into the mat, whole sole of your right foot press into the floor. We have our lunge to a single leg deadlift. So that front knee, your front right knee stays nice and bent the whole time. And then we're bending and extending our back left leg. Weight can be down by your side, on your shoulders, or on your hip in that lunge. And then just gliding the weight down the front of your front right shin. Going strong for 3, last 2. All right, shake it out. Coming back to our low, wide plie squats, toes slightly turn out. Going to depth that works for you, weights in your hands. And then twisting as you extend the arm in the opposite direction. You can look from side to side. You can also just look forward if that makes you dizzy. Keep it going, moving with your breath. You can go faster or slower, maybe lowering your stance, challenging yourself for 5, last 3, 2, come back to standing, right leg back, coming to that reverse lunge stance, reverse lunge to a single leg deadlift. So your legs are not moving. Imagine that your left and right foot are planted into the ground, and that reverse lunge stance, left leg forward, right leg back. Upper body stays completely perpendicular as you come in that lunge, and then hinging at the waist for our single leg deadlift. Going strong for 5, last 2, and 1. Setting the weights down, coming to your area for mountain climbers, either on the floor, high plank, tabletop, or lean diagonally against the wall. Slow mountain climbers, slower than you think. Using that core to stabilize yourself. High plank, tabletop, or lean diagonally against a wall. Keeping it going. If you're in that tabletop or high plank, just looking down between your thumb and index finger. Don't strain your neck, looking side to side. You got 3 seconds here, then we're gonna come to standing. Last 1. Grabbing your weight, slowly coming to a standing position. Left leg back, right leg forward, reverse lunge stance. We have our split squat lunge to our single leg deadlift. Ball of your left foot pressed into the floor. Whole sole of your front right leg, your front right foot pressed into the floor as well. Slow, controlled movement, not going for speed on these. Moving with your breath. Split squat lunge to a single leg deadlift for 3, last 2, and 1. Coming back for our third and final round. Nice low, wide sumo or plie squat, toes slightly turned out, and then extending the arm in the opposite direction. Your gaze can be forward. Your gaze can be with the arm that extends. Whatever works for you. Challenging yourself, trying to sit even lower than before. This is the last time we're doing this. You got 15 seconds here. core engaged, really feeling in your obliques, twisting at your rib cage for 5, last 3, 2, coming into our reverse lunge, left leg back, right leg forward, and coming into our split squat lunge to our single leg deadlift, just alternating them. 1 split squat lunge, 1 single leg deadlift, moving with your breath, slow and controlled movements. Hinging at the waist for your single leg deadlift, going strong for 10. You got this. Last 2 and 1. Setting your weights to the side, high plank, tabletop, or diagonally leaned against a wall, slow mountain climbers. Same knee to same elbow, drawing that knee up toward your chest. Core stays nice and engaged. Think about engaging that core to drive your knee even closer up toward your chest, up towards the same elbow. Keeping it going. Working the lower abs here. High plank, tabletop, or lean diagonally against the wall for 3, last 2, and 1. Slowly coming to a standing position, grabbing your weights, right leg behind you, left leg forward, reverse lunge stance, coming to our split squat lunge, to a single leg deadlift, moving with your breath. If you find that you get a little wobbly, just slow it down, focus on your breathing, and bring your gaze forward. I'll let you know when our timer is coming to an end and the break is nearing. Just moving with your breath. Last 5. Going strong for 3, 2. All right, set your weights down. Breather coming up here. Grab a sip of water. Try to stay moving throughout the breaks. Still got 20 seconds, don't worry. And then grabbing your weight. We're gonna come to a lateral lunge, standing, opposite arm reach to a butt kick. Moving here, just lateral lunge on the same side. So whatever side you picked, if it's your right leg, if it's your left, stick with it. We'll switch in the second round. 10 seconds to go. Lateral lunge, coming to a standing opposite arm stretch with the butt kick for 2. Last 1 from here. Coming to feet are hip width apart, soft bend your knees, slightly hinge forward, soft bend your elbows, and we're coming to our reverse fly. Squeezing your shoulder blades as you bring the arms out. Palms facing towards one another as they come in front of your body. Just a soft bend in your knees. Don't straighten the knees. Just gazing down at the ground. Squeezing your shoulder blades as you open your arms for 3, last 2, and 1. We're going to do our lateral lunge on the other side. So pick the opposite side that you just did. Coming to our lateral lunge, to an opposite extension, adding in that butt kick. So the same leg that we're lunging onto is the same leg that we're trying to bring our heel to our seat as we extend the arms up in the opposite direction. Moving with your breath. Slow it down as much as you need to. Last 5. Coming back to a standing position, soft bend in your elbows, palms facing up. We have alternating bicep curls. Just moving here with your breath, slow and controlled. This can be from a standing position. You can also come down to a kneeling stance. If you're standing, just make sure your knees have a slight bend in them. Gazes forward, palms facing up. Keeping it going. Nice bicep curl. Going strong for 10. Core stays nice and engaged. Last one. Right back to the top. We have our lateral lunge. Take a leg. We're going to do it for the full 35 seconds. Lateral lunge, opposite arm reach with a butt kick. Really bringing your heel to your seat. The nice stretch for your right thigh. If you're moving your right side, the lateral lunge, left thigh, if you're doing your left lateral lunge. Moving here with your breath. As you come to that lunge and our lateral lunge, think about keeping your chin and chest lifted so you don't get lightheaded. For 3, last 2. And then bringing the feet hip width apart, parallel, soft bend your knees, slight hinge forward, soft bend your elbows, palms facing in towards one another. We have our reverse fly. Think about really drawing your shoulder blades together as you open the arms up. Imagine you have a pencil between your shoulder blades and you're trying to keep it there as you open up the arms. Moving with your breath. Keeping it going. Slow and controlled movements. Core stays nice and engaged. For 5. Last 3, 2, and 1. Coming back to our wide stance, we have our lateral lunge on the other side. So picking the opposite side that we started with. Lateral lunge, opposite arm reach. As you come to standing and reaching the opposite arms up towards the opposite direction. Think about bringing your heel up towards your seat. Moving with your breath. Chin and chest stays lifted as you come to that lateral lunge so you don't get lightheaded. Moving for 10. Almost there. Power through. Last one. Coming to a standing stance, feet are hip width apart, parallel, soft bend your knees. This time bringing the palms together. We have our hammer curl, alternating. Curling from side to side. Palms stay facing one another. Elbows close in towards your sides. Slowing it down as much as you need to. Really grounding in through your feet. Core stays nice and engaged. And just moving your arms with your breath. Last 3, 2, and third and final round here. Coming to our lateral lunge to an opposite side ceiling reach, adding in that butt kick. Join me when you're ready. Timer has begun. 30 seconds is on the clock. Lateral lunge, chin and chest lifted. Coming to an opposite reach with both arms as you bring your heel to your seat. Keeping it going. Last time on this side. Core engaged for 5. Last 3. And 1. Go ahead and shake it out. Feet are hip width apart, parallel. Soften your knees, slight hinge forward. We have our reverse fly. Soften your elbows. Bringing your shoulders up towards one another, squeezing your shoulder blades. Just moving with your breath. Third and final round for these 4 moves. Keep it going. Almost there. Last 7, just like this. Going strong for 3, 2, and 1. Coming back to our wide stance for our lateral lunge. Last time on this side, opposite side, what we started with. Lateral lunge, opposite side ceiling reach, adding in that butt kick. Really enjoying that stretch as you bring your heel up to your seat and stretching your arms long in opposite direction. Nice stretch in your glutes, your hamstrings, your quad. Nice core stretch as well, bringing the arms up overhead. Last 5, just like this. For 2. Last 1. Feet are hip width apart, parallel, palms facing out, elbows slightly out away from you. So it's gonna be a W shape. And we're gonna alternate bicep curls from side to side. So arms are at the diagonal. They're not straight forward. They're not directly out to the side, so a little diagonal. And elbows are away from your body, palms facing up. Soften your knees, core stays engaged. Nice W candlestick, bicep curls. Nice breather in 10. Last 5, 3, 2, and 1. Set your weights aside. We'll use those towards the latter part of our last move. Still got 20 seconds, don't worry. We're gonna come onto the floor for our last 4 moves. The first one, you can come into a full side plank, low or high on your wrist or your forearm. You can also bring that bottom knee down, coming to an assisted side plank, bringing your top leg and top arm extend in the opposite directions. And we're gonna draw the top knee towards the top elbow. So your bottom knee can be down in an assisted side plank. You can also come into a full side plank, drawing that same knee to same elbow. Keep it going. Bottom knee down and the full plank position. Really working that core. Top knee to top elbow for 3. Last 2 and 1. You guessed it. We're just gonna switch sides. So if you were on your left wrist, just come on down to your right. Same thing here. You can be in your assisted side plank, bottom knee down, top arm and leg extends, and then crunching them, trying to tap your top knee to top elbow. They don't have to touch, but just moving in that direction. Crunching at the core and extending them as they separate. Keeping it moving. This is our last 4 moves. Finishing so strong. Last 5, 3, 2, and 1. Laying all the way down onto your mat. Elbows wide behind your head. One of the most effective core workouts. We have slow bicycle crunches. So just extending your leg as you try to bring opposite elbow to opposite knee. Lower back stays pressed into the mat the entire time. If your lower back lifts up, or if you feel any discomfort whatsoever in your lower back, just don't lower your legs towards the ground as far. They can be straight up to the ceiling. They can be diagonal. Keeping it going, moving with your breath. Then just gently plant your feet down if you'd like to add some weight. We have some glute focus workout here. Place your weight on top of your hip. Feet are hip width apart, parallel. We're gonna lift the hips, open the knees, close the knees, lower the hips. Lift, open, close, lower. Lift, open, close, lower. Doing whatever that you can remember. Your knees don't have to touch when you bring them back together, just bringing them hip width apart and parallel. Finishing with some glute focus moves here. Last 3, 2, and 1. Gently setting your weights to the side if you use them. Coming right back to the top for our assisted side plank or full side plank. Top arm, top leg extends, and then bringing the top knee, top elbow towards one another. Maybe they touch. Keeping it going. Core stays nice and engaged. You can have your bottom knee down. You can also come into a full side plank, extending your top arm and top leg. Going strong for 7. Last 5, 3, 2, and 1. Set everything down gently and just coming over to the other side. Got to keep everything nice and symmetrical. Side plank, top knee, top elbow. Both limbs extend in opposite directions and then bringing them in towards one another. Moving with your breath. You can have your bottom knee down. And if you'd like, you can also extend that bottom leg, coming to a full plank. Still moving your top knee and top elbow towards one another for 7. Last 3, 2, and 1. Gently bring everything down, laying onto your back. We have our slow bicycle crunches, elbows wide behind the head, lower back press into the mat. Join me when you're ready. Maybe you tap your opposite elbow to opposite knee. Maybe you just come close. Keeping it going. Doing whatever you can. Super early this morning. Maybe it's raining where you're at. Keep it going. Moving with your breath. Nothing will stop you this morning. Slow bicycles. Slower than you think. And then resting everything down. Option to grab your weights, place them on your hips. Please make sure you hold them there. Feet are hip width apart, parallel. Squeezing your seat, lifting your hips, open your knees, closing your knees, lowering the hips. Lift the hips, open the knees, close the knees, lower the hips. Lift, open, close, lower. Doing whatever that you can remember. And we're not trying to bring the knees all the way towards the mat. Maybe it's just an inch or 2. Maybe your movement is so small, it's the size of a paper clip. Doing whatever you can do. This is round 2. We have one more round and we have a lovely stretch coming up. Whew, those seconds go by fast. Set the weights aside, coming to our side plank, assisted or a full side plank. Extend top arm, top leg, and then bringing them in towards one another, trying to tap top elbow to top knee. Bottom knee can be down, or you can come into a full side plank, whatever works for you. This is the last time that we're doing this on this side. Keeping it going for 10. Last 7. You got this. Push through for 3, 2, and 1. Quickly just coming to the other side, the opposite side plank that you just did. Full side plank, assisted side plank, whatever works for you. Top arm, top leg extends, and then drawing them in towards one another, trying to tap. Maybe they tap, maybe they just come close. Maybe one side, you're more flexible than the other. That is totally normal. Crunching at the core as you drive your top knee up towards your top elbow. Last 10. Then you get to lay onto your back for the last 2 moves. And then you stretch. And 3. Last 2. And 1. Gently rolling onto your back. No equipment is needed. Elbows wide behind your head for slow bicycles. Trying to tap your opposite elbow to opposite knee. Chin and chest is lifted. Shoulders stay lifted off of the mat. Maybe lifting them another inch or 2 higher. Really challenging yourself. Keep it going. slowing it down, holding that crunch as you draw the opposite knee towards the opposite elbow. Last 7, just like this. Core stays engaged, lower back press into the mat, shoulders stay lifted, releasing everything down. Feet are hip width apart, parallel. Option to grab your weights, placing them on your hips. Squeeze your seat to lift your hips, open your knees, close them back towards one another, and then lower. Lift, open, close, lower. We're not coming to a knock-knee position, so your knees do not have to touch. Just bringing them back to starting position, being hip width apart and parallel. Keeping it going. Lift, open, close, lower. Working all corners of your seat. Going strong for 7. Last 5, 3, 2, and 1. Set your weights aside if you had them. And then resting everything down. You can draw your knees in towards your chest for a nice lower body stretch. Maybe wiggling your toes. From the same position, extend your left leg long, keeping your right knee in towards your chest and drawing it towards the outside, towards your right shoulder. Your left leg can just be nice and relaxed, nice and flat. This is a nice lower back stretch. Maybe wiggling your right toes. And then with your left hand, grabbing to the outside of your right knee and pulling your right knee across your body. Maybe your right knee taps the floor towards your left side body. You can bring your right arm out to the side, looking out over the right side for a nice back stretch. And then coming back to center, rolling onto your back. Extend your right leg long and drawing your left knee in towards your chest, avoiding your rib cage. So trying to bring your left knee up towards the outside of your shoulder. Right leg is just nice and relaxed, lay on the floor, maybe wiggling your left toes. And then with your right hand, grabbing the outside of your left knee, pulling across your body towards the right side of your body. And then looking over the left side, maybe extending your left arm long, enjoying that nice back stretch. And then coming back through center, coming up slowly to a seated position, however you would like. From here, we're going to extend the left leg long, sole of your right foot stays inside of your left leg, and then just folding over your left leg, right arm reaches up overhead for a nice side body stretch. And then just switching sides. Right leg extends nice and long, sole of your left foot to the inside of your right. And then just stretching up overhead, really enjoying that side stretch. Left arm up overhead, chin and chest stays lifted. And then still from a seated position, bringing the soles of your feet together for a nice hip stretch. Maybe moving your knees up and down, little butterfly motion. Chin and chest stays nice and lifted. With the soles of your feet still together, unclasp your hands, bring your right hand to the right side of your body. Left arm reaches up overhead for a nice stretch. And then bring the left arm down to the left side of the body. Right arm reaches up overhead for a nice stretch. And then placing both hands down, crossing your legs or coming up in whatever way works for you. Coming up slowly to a nice standing position. Nice wide stance. Nice big deep breath as you come down and up. Arms reach up overhead. One more for good luck. And giving yourself a big round of applause. Thank you everyone so much for joining me today. Again, my name is Amanda. I'm subbing for Ellen today. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amanda.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Regina.
All right, guys,
one.
enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Thank you. It's okay.